Hey everyone, it's AG Twins. In today's video, I'm going to be doing kind of a multi-doll restoration because my sister decided to go through all of her American Girl stuff and sell all of it. So I decided to buy these 3 dolls from her. So I need to fix these guys up, and then I'm also going to help her fix up her Caroline doll so she can sell that one. So let's take a look at the condition of some of these dolls to start with. The 3 that I wanted to buy from her were unfortunately the 3 that were in the worst condition, but I'm hopeful that I'm going to be able to fix these up. Emily's hair is going to be the easiest fixed. It just is dry and has some flyaways, so I'll see if straightening will help with that. But her body, unfortunately, needs a little more work. It has some ink stains on there that I'm not sure show up on camera, and her limbs are loose. Ruthie's hair needs work as well. It's very dry and just needs to be recurled and neatened up. So I'm going to try and do a hot water dunk on her with curlers to see if we can get it softened out and smoothed out and still keep her hair curly. Her limbs are also very loose, so will likely need restringing. And then the last doll is Kanani. Her hair needs the most work, but her limbs are the best. They're kind of loose. I'm not sure if I'll restring those or not, but she does have this paint mark on her leg as well that I'm hoping will come off with magic eraser. Her hair is super long and hard to maintain, so it's lost most of its curl and is very dry. And here's her Caroline doll. I fixed up this doll before putting her into storage, so she still has a lot of the curl. However, it's really messy and frizzy, so I'm going to try and neaten her hair up so she'll be in nicer shape to sell. I didn't film all of it, but to do that, I put her hair up into pin curls. I like to leave it into the curls that are already existing, so I'm not changing her curl pattern. And I'll do that once they're wet, and then the next day when they're dry, take out the pin curls. So this was an easy fix for her. So here's the big reveal for Caroline. This one wasn't a super dramatic change, but her curls are just neatened up, so she looks a little nicer. Now we're getting into some of the dolls that needed a little bit more work. The first thing that I'm going to do for Emily here is clean all of her limbs with a magic eraser. I use the thin sheet ones just because that's the kind we had on hand, but I don't think it makes a difference. I'm just cleaning her limbs to get off any dirt that she has left and also trying to rub out a few shine marks on her limbs as well. The color transfer type ink stains that she had on her did not come off with a magic eraser, so I might have to go with a different method for removing those. So the next thing that I'm going to do for Emily is to wash her hair. I just washed it with a little Dawn dish soap just to make sure it's clean and soaking wet for the next step, which is going to be to straighten her hair. So after washing it, I'm just going to use my spray bottle to make sure I'm keeping the hair wet, and then brushing all the tangles out here so it's nice and straight and tangle free for when I straighten it. And then to straighten her hair, I just set my hair straightener to the lowest temperature. So I think it was set to about 170 degrees. And I just made sure that the hair was staying soaking wet throughout the whole process. I would not recommend wearing shorts while doing this because I kept spraying like that hot water on my legs, so this is not the best setup, but it did the job. So I'm just making passes through her hair, taking small sections at a time, going over them multiple times to make sure that I'm getting all of her hair touched with the hair straightener. I am trying to give her a little flip at the end of her hair, at least in the front there with the straightener, just because I think it'll look nicer at the end when it dries if it's not just stick straight there in the front. So while Emily's hair dries, I'm moving on to cleaning the limbs of Ruthie and Kanani, using the same magic eraser method to try and get off all of the dirt and hopefully some of the marks off of her limbs. Next, I'm brushing out Ruthie's hair, making sure that I'm using my spray bottle to moisten her hair a little bit before using the brush on her curls, and just brushing from the bottom up so I can work those tangles out without ripping too much hair out of her wig. Then I'm using these foam rollers I just got from the dollar store and using them to curl her hair. In the back of her head, I like to do like one curl for the top layer and one curler for the bottom layer, just to give her hair a little bit more dimension as well, so it's not just like one solid curl in the back of her head. I tried to do that same process for Kanani's hair as well, but ended up really struggling to brush through her hair. It ended up being worse than it looked in that I couldn't brush through it. I spent way too long trying to get all the tangles out of just this first section, and eventually gave up and ended up washing her hair in the sink and putting conditioner in her hair and brushing her hair out while the conditioner was in it, and that made a huge difference in allowing me to get all of those tangles out. I think the conditioner just made her hair a little more slippery and allowed the brush to glide through better. So when I finally got all of the tangles out of her hair and got her hair up in these rollers, I did a hot water dunk. I used a bigger size foam roller than I used for Ruthie and took larger chunks of her hair so it wouldn't come out quite as curly. I usually cover my doll's eyes with cotton pads when I do this, but I forgot until I was already started, so I just tried to cover her face with a towel as best as I could, and just alternated between dunking her hair into some water that I heated until it boiled on the stove and this cold water. And I did the same thing for Ruthie, but I only did a couple dunks for her because her hair wasn't quite as bad. So then the next day, after her hair was mostly dry, I took the curlers out of Ruthie's hair. One of the things that I do is twist the curl around my finger a few times if I don't like the shape of it right when it comes out of the curler, and to get it to lie more straight down instead of horizontal, like how the curlers are in her hair now. And I also split some of her curls into multiple curls so that she just had more curls on her head. I just like the look of that better. And here is the final reveal for Ruthie. Her hair definitely is a lot shinier, and her curls are very nice. She still does have some dryness at the ends of her hair, I think because I didn't dunk her as many times as I did Kanani, but I'm happy with her. I had to wait a bit longer to take the curls out of Kanani's hair because hers were still wet when I did Ruthie's. So this is a couple days later, but just unrolling her curls. And then I also ended up splitting all of her curls into smaller pieces, but I just could not get over how much softer and shinier and nice feeling her hair was after this hot water dunk. I'm so shocked. It looks so good now. And here's the reveal for Kanani. She has soft, shiny curls. They're not perfect. They're, of course, a little bit dry at the very ends, but I just can't believe what a difference this made. She does have a few dents toward the top of her hair where the curlers were rolled up, but I think those will fall out over time. So here's all 3 of these girls restored to their former glory, or at least as close to it as I can get them. And I'm really happy that all 3 of these are joining my collection, especially Emily and Ruthie. I wanted these girls for a long time, and I'm so happy to have them. Enjoy some before and after pictures here at the end of this video. I did end up waiting to tighten their limbs. I think I'm just going to do it off camera later, or maybe I'll make another video about that in the future. But right now, I'm calling these girls good enough for me.